Hello students. So this was the slide that we discussed in the last class, that is differences between physisorption and chemisorption, right? So there are various differences between physisorption and chemisorption. So any three you can write for examination. It will be asked for 3 marks. Yeah. So next is, see here the diagram is given which explains us about how the monolayer adsorption takes place in the physisorption and the monolayer in the chemisorption and multilayer in the physisorption. So diagrammatically you can understand here. See in this difference, I think yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth difference here forms multimolecular layer. Whereas in the chemisorption, you can see the mono layer formation since it is highly specific in nature. So multimolecular layer, and here you can unimolecular. So that diagrammatically I have explained here. See, monolayer adsorption. Only the monolayer can be observed here, where the accumulation of particles, the blue color particles, whatever you are seeing in the observing in this diagram, are adsorbed on the surface. Whereas here, along with the blue color, the red color and the colorless particles are also getting adsorbed on the surface, irrespective of their nature. Here, the size or the molecular mass matters. Increase in molecular mass, increase in the adsorption rate. So easy to liquefy, those molecules can get adsorbed first, layer after the layer, depending upon their molecular masses. So here, irrespective of their nature, all the molecules get adsorbed. There is no specificity here in the physisorption. Therefore, the heat of adsorption of the first layer is comparable to the heat of the condensation of the subsequent layers, often observed during physisorption. So whereas in monolayer adsorption, you can see here the heat of adsorption of the first monolayer is much stronger than the heat of adsorption of the second. So almost the second layer adsorption is impossible here. Even if it happens, the heat of adsorption rate is very much difference between the first layer and the second layer in chemisorption compared to physisorption. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ the specificity is important here. Whatever bonds are required, whether it is ionic or covalent, ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And once it is formed, the high amount of energy is already released. So next layer ಅಲ್ಲಿ particles ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಅಡೇರ್ ಆಗಕ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ the bond will be weak and there is no much energy release. So therefore, the energy difference is much stronger than the heat of adsorption of the second and all the following layers. So therefore, this is the monolayer and the multilayer differences in terms of energy. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು factors affecting adsorption ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ particularly gas on a liquid, solid. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನೀವು diagram ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, all these are the examples for the adhesion or the accumulation of gaseous particles on the solid. So there are various factors that affect the adsorption of gas on a solid surface. So the nature of the gas ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, surface area of the solid ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, effect of pressure ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, effect of temperature ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. So effect of ಇದು temperature, pressure ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆ, so some isothermic graphs, Freundlich isotherms we can explain. So that I'll explain you later. Before that, let us see what are the applications of adsorption. Then we'll go to the factors affecting adsorption in detail. Okay. Yeah. So here, few more information about the adsorption. As I said, adsorption isotherm, effect of the pressure and the temperature. This part we can explain later. Yeah. So before that, we'll finish off the important applications of adsorption. So why there is a need of knowing adsorption? ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಈ ತರದ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. So important applications of adsorption. First one you can see in the production of high vacuum. So as I said, the example of silica gel and the water molecules. So silica gel will adsorb all the moisture or humidity present inside the chamber or inside the container. If in a particular place, if we need to create a vacuum means no gas should be present. Gas moisture ಏನು ಕೂಡ ಇರಬಾರದು. ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹೈ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅಡ್ಸಾರ್ಪ್ಷನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, and then gas masks. So So particularly this gas mask will be used in the coal mining. So particularly it is a device which consists of an activated charcoal, especially a mask alli enirutte andre activated charcoal irutte. This is used to absorb the poisonous gases, where activated charcoal absorbs poisonous gases. Okay, idinna ನಾವು coal mining alli andre ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೊನಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂತಹ ಪಾಯ್ಸನಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕೋಲ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, and humidity control. So in case of production of high vacuum, already I told humidity control, we will use silica gel for this. Okay, silica gel has the capacity to control the humidity by absorbing the moisture. Okay, and the clarification of sugar. So clarification of sugar, that means the impurity, colored particle, the brown colored, whatever the impurity present along with the sugar can be separated by using some adsorbents which will decolorize the sugar. And chromatographic analysis also, this is also an adsorption technique where we use the silica gel to separate the constituents of a mixture. ಒಂದು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕ್ರೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಗ್ರಫಿಕ್ ಅನಾಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. And heterogeneous catalysis. See, heterogeneous catalysis means later you'll come to know what is homogeneous and heterogeneous while discussing about the catalysis. Now I'll just tell you about the application in this field. The adsorption of the reactants on the solid surface of the catalysis increases the rate of the reaction. ಈ ಕೆಟಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕೆಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳ ರೋಲ್ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ದ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್, ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಹೆಟಿರೋಜಿನಿಯಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಡ್ಸಾರ್ಪ್ಷನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ application in various fields, maybe the preparation of chemicals, medicines, and in our own body also the same mechanism happens. Digestive enzymes ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಅದು ಬಂದು ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗುವಂತದ್ದು, ಅದು ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, protein digestion and carbohydrate digestion. So all these comes under this process. And adsorption indicators. So these indicators will also help in the process of titrations to locate the end point using an adsorbent as an indicator. Example, we have used methylene blue and ನೀವು phenolphthalein indicator ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಅಲ್ಲಿ titration of phenolphthalein indicators. These will help us to differentiate the end point, to identify the end point where exactly the neutralization has taken place, oxidation or reduction has taken place. Okay, ಆ ರೀತಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ indicators. So separation of inert gases. Inert gases means group 18 elements, noble gases. They are non-reactive. Therefore, based on their molecular masses, if the mixture of inert gases are present in a closed chamber, then activated charcoal can be dipped in that. All the gases will adhere, accumulated, adsorbed on that charcoal. And when we take it for desorption, separate depending upon their loose binding as well as molecular mass, they will start getting out from the adsorbent, and separately they can be collected in separate chambers. Thus, inert gases can be separated and purified. And Froth sortation process also, the adsorption is very much important. Generally, sulfide ores are concentrated by this method based on the adsorption. So it may be lead sulfide or iron sulfide, zinc sulfides. So adrinda zinc, lead ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ Froth sortation process concentration ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. So ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ adsorption process involve ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So the oil particles will bind and they will come in the form of a froth, and from the froth the ore, the minerals can be extracted. Then curing diseases, as I said about the heterogeneous catalysis, the medicines kuda ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ adsorption process ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. A number of drugs are adsorbed on the germs and they kill them, or these are alcohols on the ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಸ್ಟೆರಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಜರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ನ ಕಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಸ್ಟೆರಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಜರ್ಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಕಾಸಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಡೆತ್. Okay, so thus in curing diseases also the adsorption process is very much helpful. And see in detail here I have given the production of high vacuum, how the vacuum will be created. A vessel that has already been evacuated by a vacuum pump may still contain traces of air. Even with the help of vacuum pump, we can't create complete vacuum. So ಆ ತರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅಡ್ಸಾರ್ಪ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. So a bulb of activated charcoal is connected to this vessel. The remaining traces of air get absorbed by the activated charcoal. Okay, this results in the formation of high vacuum. And gas masks, as I told you, used by the miners in the mines, especially coal mining, provide protection from both particulates matter and poisonous gases. So these are based on the phenomenon of adsorption again. And they control the humidity of air. And silica and aluminum gel are used to keep the relative humidity as low as possible. They absorb moisture from the air, thereby preventing damage to electronic devices and musical instruments too. An application of adsorption from solutions is the clarification of sugar. Animal charcoal is used to decolorize sugar solution. Okay, so this is a little bit explanation about the applications of adsorption. So in students, in the next class, we'll discuss about the factors affecting adsorption and also about the Freundlich isotherm. Thank you. Have a nice day.